MX vs ATV Legends has another big update that has just hit consoles and PC today on November 19th. It is their November update. It is actually v3.15 as they keep going through the different iterations of this game. Of course, we had V1, V2, now we're on v3.15. And this update, instead of having to do with any sort of physical changes or sound changes or anything like that we've seen of late, literally just has to do with a couple cool updates to like some customization options and stuff like that, and we'll go over each of them. We'll start off by talking about Rawlings Farm, which is the main compound in the game. Now has a snow version, as you guys can obviously see. There's also a night version of the compound, and they updated the lighting in the day, like afternoon, morning options as well. So there's a lot of different new ways to play Rawlings Farm, which is kind of cool because it looks aesthetically awesome, I think, to see this compound finally covered in snow. You also can play it at night. Let's go check that out real quick. So here's the compound in the evening. The sun has set, and you're also going to see, if we play this long enough, I believe that the snow actually starts kind of like falling on the map as you play it at night as well. So it's kind of like almost dynamic weather. I was playing the motocross track for just a little bit on this compound, and eventually the snow just started caking up all around the facility. So I'm not sure if that's like part of their dynamic weather model or what. I'm going to go to this spot over here, the Supercross track, because the Soupy track has lights on it. It's kind of interesting how they only put like lights in certain spots and areas, but kind of unique how it works out. There's like the mini games and stuff like that. So, but yeah, they added lights to the compound so you can, you know, play it at night. Very kind of cool addition to the game right there, to be able to play Rawlings Farm in the day and the night and in the snow now, because of course, like I said, it's winter time, so everyone's getting a little bit jazzed up about winter. So this is the big Rawlings Farm change. We also have a lot of customization options that they've updated with the game as well. You'll notice that I'm using a custom kit for the Yamaha YZ450. I'll talk about that in a second. There is a kit that was already like this, but another graphics company added their kit that's similar to this one in the game. I also have a new set of Thor gear on that we'll go over, and I'm even using Hayden Deegan's Monster Energy Super Tech SM10 Alpine Stars helmet, which they just call the Monster Energy Edition in the game. So again, pretty unique to see something like that added to the game. Feels a little bit more connected to the real riders, and also gives players a lot more customization options. So that's going to be the customization side of it. We'll get into that in a second, but they also made a ton of updates to some of the tracks as well. So let's get into the DLC tracks that have seen changes in this new update. So 6 of the DLC tracks have now been updated, and first we're going to take a look at Foxborough. They changed these tracks around to more accurately reflect what the tracks were like on race day, because obviously they released these tracks before the race happened, when the real map, the track map, was dropped. So we got a chance to like play the tracks the time before the race, but then they changed a lot on race day. So this is kind of cool. Just a little bit of like quality life update, I guess, with some of these maps, that we now get to play them in their most realistic setting. So this is Foxborough, which I'm trying to remember what the track looked like before, but I don't think it's a ton of changes. I think they made some subtle changes here and there. Again, just trying to reflect what the track was like on race day. Smooth through the sand right here. I think that this is now, you step over to this, go over the table, and then 3-2 into the corner. Yeah, it must be that. And then a couple different options, of course, you can always do coming out of these corners. I mean, this game is kind of unrealistic, so you can do some really big lines as well. But I'll leave that to the pro players. That's a look at Foxborough. We'll take a look at Birmingham next. They did an update to Birmingham Round 9. We'll take a look at that. So this is the Birmingham track, which I do remember what this track was like, and it was slightly different in the rhythm sections. Obviously IRL, because it rained at Birmingham, they cut the whoops down, so it's now just a roller section. I don't know if I actually like that change being in the game, because it totally takes away from the track being fun in the dry. Like, it's a pretty boring track now. But they changed the rhythm section up a little bit to reflect. This, of course, was just a little step on, step off, and then turning through this corner right here. And instead of a wall jump right here, they had these 3 rollers. So obviously that's a different change right there. I think this rhythm section they probably kept the same, because IRL they left it pretty much the exact same. Yeah, that feels pretty much the same from what I remember before. I feel like there's a few less ruts in these corners. Maybe I'm just thinking differently. Oh yeah, and then a double, because when it rains in Monster Energy Supercross now, they usually try to clean the track up just a little bit before a race so that guys can still do some of the jumps. And one of the things is taking away Supercross triples and just making them doubles. So that is the changes that they made to Birmingham. Next up, we'll take a look at, I believe, Denver. All right, so here's what Denver looks like now. And of course, these are all part of the 2024 Track Pass. So if you bought the DLC for Track Pass, this is the Denver track that you can play, and those other tracks like Birmingham and Foxborough that we've already played. We're going to check out Salt Lake City in a minute, and we'll also look at Redbud and Loretta Lynn's, which they changed just to reflect the updates a little bit. But again, I don't think that they really changed a whole lot with some of these tracks. I think for the most part, the layouts are very close. It's just little subtle like changes in the corners and stuff like that to match and reflect it. And you can almost go quad right there. I'm playing these tracks for the first time just so I can also see the changes myself. So I apologize that the gameplay is looking a little rough, but you can see where they made a couple of these subtle changes to the tracks. I feel like it'll be kind of fun for online play just to see how these tracks now play, because obviously players have gotten used to how they felt one certain way and now they're pretty much completely different. But yeah, this was the Denver round, and last up from the Supercross side of it, we'll check out the Salt Lake City round. Last but certainly not least, the changes to Salt Lake City. And oh man, they said they updated some things with the gearbox for gameplay wise for automatic shifting, which I mostly play this game with automatic. I know that I have informed you all to play with manual shifting, and I still stand by that, but I just don't play it enough at this point in time to always do manuals. So when I just load it up to do a quick news video like this, keep it in automatic. And they said they changed some things with the automatic gearbox. I thought it felt pretty good, but I hate how it still kind of bogs down going into some jumps and stuff like that. So it looks like through this corner, you got the step on, step off that they had IRL. You triple that, and then these guys were sometimes going over the table, sometimes just tripling on off. Inside here, and then up and over the tunnel jump behind the start line. And then, yeah, so this is a little bit different. It was just kind of like more of a sweeper. And I love how they're making these ruts kind of a little bit more realistic with those like cut down lines and stuff like that. That feels a little bit more natural through the whoops and over the finish line jump. So those are the 4 Supercross tracks that had significant changes to their DLC pack. Now let's take a look at Redbud and Loretta Lynn's. So let's take a spin around the new and improved Redbud in the track pass for 2024. Looks like they went back to reverting the start the way it should be, because of course they went back to the old start for 2023, and a lot of first turn crashes pretty much made them realize that that was a terrible idea. I always thought it was. So now we're back to this start again, and we go through those first couple of corners, drop down into the middle part of the racetrack. I think a lot of this stuff is going to be pretty much the same. Like, I think they probably only changed like the start. Oh, this is a little bit different. That big inside right there. Come out of this corner, you probably can triple that, no problem. And then up to, I think, what is this jump called? I feel like it's called like Little Dipper or something like that. I forget the name of it. It's not obviously the Laraco's Leap, which is on the other side of the track. Jumping down into this off camber. Oop, trying to hook that inside rut. Don't really get it. But yeah, I think a lot of this stuff is the same. Redbud hasn't changed a whole lot over the years. Most national tracks don't change that much year to year, so pretty easy for the Rainbow Studios crew to kind of like run it back each time. Not have to change too much up about the track from track pass to track pass, but the little subtle changes here just to make it the most up-to-date and improved version. Crash right there, no biggie. And then we'll come down into the flag jump. Nice whipper jump right there. And then on the gas all the way to the outside right here. Gets set up for the Rocco's Leap. Oh, get cranked on that guy. Always a fun jump to throw whips on, especially in this game. Out of this corner, table back the other way. Yeah, I mean, I don't remember this being that much different. Like, this all feels pretty much the exact same. So maybe just kind of changed up the first turn complex back to the old iteration, and that was pretty much it for Redbud. So let's take a look at Loretta Lynn's now. All right, let's take a spin around the ranch here in Hurricane Mills, Tennessee for the Loretta's update. I'm trying to remember what was different on the version that they had before this. Talk about a track that hasn't changed much. Loretta's has been very much the same for quite a long time, but that's okay. It's kind of the joy of it is that it always is pretty similar when they come back to the ranch. Yeah, down this straightaway, that's all pretty much the same. I don't remember this being different at all, to be honest. I think this is pretty much exactly what it looked like. Through here. Yeah, this all seems the same. I'm trying to come up with what they maybe changed on this. Oh, look at that. Just a nice hop into the inside right there. Talk about unrealistic lines you can do in this game. That's still there. That's the same. Wonder if maybe they just like did a couple things off track that were a little bit update to it. Yeah, I think this is all the same through Storyland. They obviously have the big freestyle compound over there, which I want to check out more of. I want to definitely do some cool videos over there. Haven't done much in it. Going down this back straightaway into the beach or the sand. The beach is usually the polysport corner around the beach, but this is the long sand turn down the back straightaway. It goes so fast in this game that you just kind of fly through that wall jump right here under the Yamaha banners. This all seems correct to me. Swoop through this corner. You got this little step up into the middle of the track, and then they launch it into the sand right here. Going through this corner. And yeah, I think that Loretta's, they probably did a couple very subtle updates, but it doesn't seem like they changed much. They didn't need to change much. The track has remained the same for quite some time. Let's talk about some customization. So if you go to the news and updates tab in the game, it always gives you an overview of like what's new and improved with the game, and it also gives you an idea of whether or not your game has been updated, because if it shows this, your game has been updated. So here's the Rawlings Farm update, as I talked about, changes to some of these tracks, as I had mentioned. Here is the new 60 ATR1 Solid, Stealth, and Split, along with the Bell Moto 9S Banshee. We'll take a look at those in a second. They added Fox V3, Monster Energy, and Red Bull helmets, which, again, awesome that we're having these in the game in the first place. The SuperTech 10 SM10 Monster, which is the Deegan edition, and the Thor Reflex Sport Mode helmet also in the game. They added Alpine Stars Racer Hoenn, Alpine Stars Fluid Lurv, and the Thor Sports Mode Strike gear in the game. Of course, we've been using the Thor stuff. And they also have race team variants for Honda, Monster Energy Kawasaki, Monster Energy Yamaha Star Racing. We'll take a look at those in a second. They also have some new Throttle Syndicate Aero graphics for the 2023 and 2024 Honda. I think those look pretty good. SKDA, Ridge, and Factory Effects Candy Chrome graphics now also available for the Suzukis. Take a look at those probably as well. And this is the Backyard Designs RV Revo graphics for the 23 and 24 Yamaha, which again is kind of a replica of the throwback Yamahas that they were doing in stock trim. And they also ran it at Washugal in 2023, I believe, for Monster Energy Yamaha Star Racing, with the purple and the blue and a bit of that throwback look. So kind of cool. Let's look at the locker real quick, though, and talk about some of these helmets that are now available in the game. We'll start off with the 6D ones up here. These are kind of the ones you can now customize, a plain one, and this one down here, this red custom. You can change the colors on this one. So that is kind of cool. There's the Deegan Monster Edition helmet, as I had mentioned. It even says Danger 38 there on the back, so you can see it's very clearly the Deegan Edition. Here's some of the Bell Moto 9s, which I'm honestly surprised we're having Moto 9s still in the game. I guess kind of cool for people who still have Moto 9s, but I figured a lot of people would have been in Moto 10s by now for the most part. Of course, we have all the Red Bull and Monster Moto 10 options. And then here's the Fox Monster Edition, or Monster Energy helmet, limited edition Monster helmet, and the Red Bull helmet, which, I'm trying to think, who's in a Red Bull helmet for Fox other than Roxon? Probably just Kenny. Probably missing somebody else, but obviously a lot of like athletes for mountain bike and stuff are in Red Bull Fox helmets, so that's kind of cool. Here's the Thor helmets as well, the Sport Strike Custom and Sport Strike Navy Acid, which I don't know many people that use Thor helmets, but it's cool you could at least match the gear with some of the Thor stuff that they now offer. Let's go through some of the gear that is in here. Got to go all the way back up to the top. Take a look at these just real quick. So here's some of the Alpine Stars options. Again, they added these Fluid Lurv options. I actually own this jersey, which kind of cool to see it in the game. And then here's the race team one, Jason Anderson's Monster Energy Kawasaki one. It's funny how they do this, because look, it literally says Aero Kawasaki. Aero is a helmet company that sponsors Jason Anderson, and Aero isn't even in this game. So it's funny they choose to include the logo. And you could actually do a custom version of the Fluid Lurv, which is always nice to see. And here's the Jet Lawrence stuff pretty much. Obviously, Hunter Lawrence uses the same Alpine Stars gear. We have the Racer Hoenn HRC for the plain or the red, and then we also have the black option as well. I kind of like that kit for sure, and the blue is even fancier. They also have the sky blue, which I think Hunter Lawrence has been using that stuff quite a bit, and then they have all the base options for the gear as well. So just kind of cool to see those make it into the game. We'll work our way down to some of the Thor stuff a little bit further down. Of course, we've seen all this Fox stuff. FXR had a big drop a few months back as well, so nice to see all those in the game. And then here's some of the new Thor stuff. We have the Sport Mode Strike, again, which is just the blue-white stuff they ran. Star ran that stuff at Budds Creek this year when they debuted the new Thor stuff. Also have it in black. And then you have the Sport Mode Strike Star Racing Edition and the Star Racing Purple Edition, which we were using. That's like their throwback stuff. And again, this was the throwback stuff that they had the year before. So kind of cool that it comes full circle and we get more Thor stuff. There's all the TLD stuff. It comes with gloves as well. So there is a couple Thor options for gloves. And I think Alpine Stars also added a few glove options to the game up here. Oh, no, they didn't actually. So same old for the Alpine Stars gloves. And then boots-wise, they actually added the Diva Pink White, which is, again, in my opinion, kind of the Hayden Deegan special edition. Since his pink and red helmet came out, he also got these pink boots that he was running a lot towards the end of the year. So kind of cool to see those make it into the game. I think that was actually in the last update, though. So, yeah, this is kind of the main updates to that side of it as well. Quick overview on some other things real fast. Here is the Rawlings Farm updates to the lighting that they have during the day, and it just looks aesthetically very pretty. They tweaked the automatic gearbox, like I mentioned, with the physics update. They changed to improve interactions with sloped terrain, so that should fix a couple things there. Accidental scrubs was a bit of a problem. They also updated a few things to fix that. Changed a few things about the audio this time around as well to improve some stuttering and some cutting out that was happening, and did a little gameplay updates for some stunts. They actually added 2 stunts to the game, like the Bolt and some other stunt now in the game. But yeah, for the most part, it was just a couple of quick updates to some of the DLC packs. Rawlings Farm, like I almost want to call this the Rawlings Farm update, but there's so many gear customization options as well that are in this update that I almost have to go with that one as well. So cool that they're still putting this much work and effort into the game, and obviously Season 3 of mxvsatv Legends is coming to a close soon, and we're going to head into Season 4 in 2025 very quickly, so I'm sure they're going to have a lot of big updates coming soon. But we had that big update for 3.14. This is kind of just adding on to it a little bit with some interesting and unique updates for some customization, basically. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys in the next one. So long for now.